Yes, well, we're back from the break. You're still watching Smart Means Business. You're a daily Kickstarter. I'm Andrew Barija here with Masi Katsime as we are driving you all the way. And definitely we're heading into the last minutes of the show. Now, as we keep bringing you this rightful information, which is key and instrumental when it comes to decision making and implementation. But of course, on top of that, still, I would love to remind you that the Markets on the Zabu platform are already on. And for you to be a part of them, it's quite very simple. Star 292 hash is simply the code which will avail you with options where you will be in position to actually buy government bonds and securities for a fee of just 15,000. You get a shilling. Now the markets open at exactly 8:15 a.m. and they close at 3:15 p.m. That is East African time, and this is effective Monday up to Friday. Apart from the weekends and the public holidays when these markets cannot be accessed. But of course, despite the fact you have the rest of the days to capitalize and make money, is something which I believe it's quite key and instrumental when it comes to your financial growth and development as an individual. Zabo made this a reality for you. Participate in trading bonds and securities. It's the new number for the 21st century, and that's why it says my money, my future. And also East Africa tells you you gotta do something new for yourself. Remember, it is 2023. Well, at this point in time, as we proceed with our discussion here with Masi Katsime, we're looking at Uganda's journey of economic independence way back to the time, looking at Uganda's economy way back in the 1970s, a few years after independence, and coming in all the way till to date. And quite a lot has changed.
Of course, quite a lot has changed, I must say. Like we were discussing before we actually left, before we went for a short break, you were talking about the fact that by then, those years, we had a few literate people, But the thing about foreign assistance is just that, you know, like the colonialism time, and after that, after we got independence, you realize if you've been reliant on some people, you feel like even if they go, that's like the mentality we have actually as Africa. Even now, seeing that the World Bank has suspended funding, people are still like, how are we going to do this? You know? And of course, if that mindset does not change, definitely we go back in the
dependability mindset.
Dependability mindset. Oh, we cannot do this. They were helping us. You know, if you look at the US and China, then, you know, when they had been dominant in China, and of course, after China got its independence, you realize they made sure that they develop so that they, you know, having been through colonialism, wouldn't want to go back. You know, they realized the pain it came with being ruled under someone's supervision, and they're giving you the rules and the commands to do. So definitely that is why China is fighting as much as it can not to go back, because they know the consequences. And the beauty about it is that, you know, they had the chance to learn from them.
From the colonizers.
From the colonizers, compared to us, where we are waiting to be told what to do. We are clearly we're dependent on them, you know. So definitely that is why China is among. I mean, is it the second?
It's the second largest economy.
Yeah, largest economy globally, because I mean they realized, wow, so this has a huge impact. So definitely they worked by far. Comparing China and the US, China is top notch, I must say, compared to other economies all over the globe. So definitely we still have that dependency part in us in Africa, thinking once the people that have been funding us go, what are we going to do for ourselves?
And actually, when you mentioned about China, I remember the beauty of, you know, if you look at most of the African economies, the challenge came in that once we're given this independence, you know, political independence, we still had, there is that social aspect, you know, when it comes to the languages, our cultures and all that didn't really change, you know, because today, and when you look at those countries that actually didn't change the social perspective of their life, their economies are still a little bit in a sorry state, because social has an element of economic that is in the long run. Look at China today, look at India, which is also a former British colony. After the colonization, you get to realize that then when you go to India, you'll be surprised that actually the language that they speak in their offices is, they call it Hindu. You know, it's the language that joins them together. It's the national language in there. English just comes in and by the way. That's why even when they start to speak English, I mean, it sounds a little bit shaky in some sort of a way.
Yes.
You know, and for us, we laugh at them because we feel like, but that doesn't matter how you speak good English. But how big can you communicate in terms of finance, offering financial solutions? So, China, if they speak the Chinese language, now it's even being taught in schools in Africa today of a country that was once a colony.
Actually, it's very hard for a different language to penetrate in China.
A different language to penetrate in China, you know. And by the way, viewers, as we are speaking this, we're just trying to take a look at benchmarking from other nations that were under colonialism and how they were actually in position to build their economies after being independent from the British, because we know the British actually were the colonial masters of the world, you know, as a result of that. So where did we go wrong as Uganda? Probably trying to find a hitching, you know, a missing link to that. But of course, I'm not saying that it's bad to stay with the cultures there as it's about to speak English, but the extent to which we embrace English is what matters here. You know, we think in English. Everything we do in English, and that in some sort of way has had an impact on us economically to some extent. Now, I saw a clip somewhere it was someone's status actually who posted it, and they were showing you kids in China. For them, they're being taught how to, I mean, hands-on skills, vocation aspects. So, in Uganda, they're in class. What is that? That is the colonial education.
That's a colonial education. Why? I'm actually perturbed because because usually for vocational school, you have to have maybe finished senior 4 or maybe senior 6. And for us in Uganda, we see it as, wow, you're a failure. You're not joining a level, or you're not joining university. You're opting to go for a vocational. That is the mentality we have. Like, oh, you're not joining university. I mean, someone like most like those. If you look at maybe institutions like higher, they're into engineering and architecture and all that, and though they learn skill, you brick on brick.
Brick on brick.
It is practical. So imagine we have engineers who know how to lay bricks, not how to do it theoretically. Okay, so that is the false pride we have in Uganda. I mean, someone joining vocational school is like, I mean, what are they up to? They don't want to work in offices. They want to do the dirty work. I mean, so definitely that is the thing that we are pushing for actually, skilling. And
I think that if we had adapted that,
because we have culture, we have rich cultures, really. We have rich cultures, you know. I mean, when it comes even to fishing, we have a lake. People see this as, funny work, but people do fishing.
Are ripping quite big on them.
Yes, so definitely, I believe when we are doing away with our culture, actually, leaving out our culture, which could actually really help us, improve as a country. Because when you come to when you look at the film industry, we are rich with content. There is a lot for us to show the world what Uganda is, what we have, Had we known the minerals that are in Uganda, had we known the oil, then, man, we would be by far. Knowing it now, and of course it's also taking quite some time for us, we need assistance, well.
Absolutely. True. Now, still looking at Uganda, and I think those examples are quite variable. If we had adapted the vocational kind of a style way back before, and we took it like something very serious, I mean, it would be the aspect of transferring of skills from one generation to another, and that's how countries actually develop. Now, the economy deteriorated under the president, under the rule of President Idi Amin. That was in 1971 up to 1979. Now, Amin used nationalist, militarist rhetoric and ill-chosen economic policies to eliminate foreign economic interests and build up the military establishment. That is in 1972, where he expelled holders of British passports, including approximately 70,000 Asians of Indian and Pakistan descent. But of course, we see that still many Asians in here have been active in agribusiness, manufacturing. There was manufacturing and commerce, and their mass expulsion and immense efforts, that is to expropriate foreign businesses, undermine investor confidence in Uganda. Of course, those investors that were planning to come in Uganda after that saga, their confidence to invest into the country definitely declined. Now, I mean, also increased public expenditures on military goods, and of course, a practice that contributed to escalating foreign and domestic debt during the 1970s. Now, relations with Uganda's neighbors soured. And now we see that the East African Cooperation disbanded in 1977, and the Tanzanian troops finally led a joint effort to overthrow the unpopular Amin regime in 1979. And by 1980, the economy was nearly destroyed. I mean, civil wars within the country and Uganda, that sort of disrupted. And the insecurity in that you can't operate in an environment that you're threatened about what is going to happen the next day. You're not sure about that. Definitely, that is going to affect your productivity and innovation, which is quite a very key aspect for business growth and development. Well, that is it for today. That's what we have for you for the show. It's 11 minutes to the top of the hour, and great things from all the way we started from 7 a.m. coming in down from our morning call till this last time of the insight, as we've been dissecting down Uganda's economy in the way back times, talking about the 1960s before independence, and of course a few years after independence. Now, soon on that notice, don't forget channel 372, that's on DSTV, channel 320 on GOTV. Yeah, and you can also find us on free to air. And don't forget still to go to your Google Play Store and download the Smart Digital application. And here you'll be in position to actually stream Smart 24 TV at any part of the world you will be at. You know, you're stuck in jam heading back home, well, you can get your application for that. And also go to our official website, Smart24.tv. Here you'll get the right business facts that you need. You could be a business student, you're in a business university, you're a business, you're trying to do some research about something. Definitely, if you don't watch it on Smart 24 TV, you gotta go on the website, Smart24.tv, with the right and updated business facts. Well, it's the 17th of August, and we are literally wrapping up the month. Go be much more productive than you've been before. Maybe before we wind up, Mercy, your last remarks to the viewers out there.
Oh, well, my last remarks for the viewers is that we can do it. We can make it as Uganda, regardless of what is happening.
Yeah.
Be positive. Let this be a chance for us to prove to the world that indeed we can do it. So definitely, as you start your day, as already start, go make it happen. Do not mind how the day will lead you. At the end of the day, as long as you can deliver, you've done what it takes. Please go make it happen. Of course, believe in yourself and be positive. Of course, my name is Mercy Katsima, and of course, we always happy to have you, and of course, to give you information regarding business, and of course, have a great day.
All right, thanks for those remarks. Quite very interesting. I've been Andrew Babrije with Mercy Katsima, and we've been driving you all the way. Thanks for being part of Smart Means Business. Till tomorrow. Good morning.
Smart 24, driving business.
And in talking news, MTN has improved on their data voice bundles. You can now call across all networks for the same price. We've talked to several eyewitnesses on the ground, and this is what one of them had to say. Amos, did you hear about the MTN daily voice bundles? So, to join many more other Ugandans enjoying these MTN daily voice bundles, dial *1